Welcome to the League of Women Voters Candidates Forum and the contested races for St. Charles Library Board, D303 School Board, St. Charles Park Board, and City Council. I'm Kelly Rotella. I'm on the Voter Services Committee for the League of Women Voters of Central Kane County. I indicated that the forum is for those in contested races. The League has an empty chair policy which prohibits a forum with only one candidate for a position participating. We do allow for the person who agrees to participate up to 3 minutes for an introductory statement. However, that was not necessary as all the contested races have candidates here today. We have a very full afternoon ahead of us. The candidates participating today have signed and agreed to the format and media policy required by the League of Women Voters. We have gathered questions in advance from the community and are taking them today from the audience. They are being reviewed for clarity and relevance. We are not going to be able to get to them all, and if your question is not asked, please reach out to the candidates directly. Today's forum is being live streamed and filmed by Andrew Van Meter and Audrey Karp from our local Batavia cable access television station, BATV. The recording will be posted on the websites of the League of Women Voters of Central Kane County, BATV, and the Illinois Voter Guide. We are assisted today by several St. Charles East National Honor Society students, as well as members of the local chapter of the AAUW. The moderators for today's forum are Barbara Lymans, the Voter Service Chair from the Wheaton League of Women Voters, and Susan Russo, a member of our league who does not live in St. Charles. We're going to get started. Thank you, Moderator Russo.
Good afternoon, and thank you for attending today. We are looking forward to having a successful and informative forum. My name is Susan Russo, and we will begin today's forum with the candidates for Library Board of Trustees. There are 2 seats open on the board and 4 candidates running for these seats. 3 of the candidates are here today. They are Bonnie Dower, Karen Kaluza, and Ellison Lantham. And Anthony Catella is the 4th candidate, but he did not respond to our invitation by the deadline, so he will not be participating today. So each candidate will be given 1 minute to make his or her opening statement. Questions will be asked of all candidates in alphabetical order, with each candidate answering questions first on a rotating basis. Unless otherwise noted, each candidate will have 1 minute to answer each question, and at the end of the questions, each candidate will be given an opportunity to make a 1-minute closing statement. So, Ms. Dower, please begin with your opening statement.
Well, thank you very much. I would like to thank the League of Women Voters for hosting.
Speak into the mic.
Okay. Thank you. Check, check. Thank you very much to the League of Women Voters for the library and for everyone in attendance today here and also online for your interest in this race and for giving us the opportunity to introduce ourselves to the community. My name is Bonnie Dower. I've lived in the St. Charles area for close to 12 years now, and ironically, it was my position here as a cataloging librarian that brought me here. I have a master's degree in library science. I have a knowledge management certificate. I support our community through several different organizations. I'm on several different boards. I'm on the Library Foundation Board. And I feel that I would be an asset to the St. Charles Library because this community means a lot to me.
Thank you.
Yes,
Hi,
you are next. Thank you. I'm sorry.
I'm Karen Kaluza, and I also would like to thank the League of Women Voters for having us here today for this event. I'm running for re-election for a 2nd term on the library board. And I was fortunate to be
You
part
need to
of...
speak into the microphone.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. I was fortunate to be part of the planning of the expansion and renovation of this beautiful facility we're meeting in today. The building project finished in the summer of 2021 during COVID, on time and on budget. Another accomplishment of which I am proud is the intergovernmental agreement with School District D303, so all students in the district now are eligible for library cards. This is an exciting time at the library. We've just hired a new director, and last month we embarked on strategic planning, where we're going to get input from the community and the staff to plan our priorities for the next 5 years. I've been a librarian for nearly 40 years. I actually moved to Chicago specifically to attend library school at the University of Chicago. And I love libraries, and I especially love this one. So thank you very much.
And Ms. Lantham.
Good afternoon. Again, thank you to the League of Women Voters and our community for joining us today. My name is Allison Lantham. Please call me Allie. I have experience in nonprofits, government, libraries, and higher education. And as Karen said, this is an exciting time for the library. I would like to offer my skills, strengths, and experience. We're celebrating the new building, the new director who just started, and I also just finished my master's in library and information science degree. So in a nutshell, I believe in the freedom to read, and of course, libraries are for everyone. So it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. We will start with the first question with Ms. Kaluza. How will you work with fellow board members who disagree with you in order to compromise on important decisions?
Well, over the past 6 years on the board, we have had lively discussions about a number of things, and it's really a wonderful board. We all respect each other, and we come from different backgrounds. And so those lively discussions usually end up in consensus, and we've been able to get along quite well and move forward.
You gotta talk into these microphones.
Okay.
So I think, did everybody hear? I think, okay.
Okay.
Ms. Lanthrop?
Sure.
In working with other board members on topics that we may not necessarily initially agree on, I would ask a lot of questions, and I would seek common ground. I would investigate where people are coming from and think about where we want to go in order to meet the needs and wants of the community. And then hopefully we could reach a consensus.
And Ms. Dower?
I've had experience working on several different boards where people do disagree. And I find that having conversations, asking a lot of questions, and doing a little research on different issues that maybe I hadn't considered, and then bringing it back, coming back to the table, having time to consider different opinions and different options, being able to come to concession is very important, and consensus. I hope that in this new, on this new board, that we will be able to work together to find common ground.
Thank you. Ms. Lantham, the next question is, do you support banning books from public libraries? And if you do, what criteria would you use to determine whether a particular book should be banned?
Thank you for asking that question. That is something that we are seeing a great increase of across the nation and around the world. So in general, I do not support banning books. I support the freedom to read and the access of information. Now, what I'd really like to communicate is that library materials, library collections are carefully, thoughtfully, and intentionally added to collections. So if anyone would like to submit a reconsideration of any material, they are invited to submit a form. Then it goes to the director, and then it goes to the board. But of course, if you are not interested in any specific kind of material, you have many, many other options. Freedom to read. Thank you.
Ms. Dower?
As a member of the American Library Association, I also agree that I am not for banning books. And I am for the freedom to read. I agree with Allie in that the library hires librarians on purpose because they are professionals, and they will select materials that are reflective of the community, and they are materials that are circulated. So it is very important to have materials that reflect the entire community, and whether they there should be some things in the library that offend everyone, and so that is one way to expand your mind, and that you're able to broaden your vision and broaden your opinions. And so, in short, no, I do not support book bans.
And Ms. Kaluza.
I agree with what both Bonnie and Ally have said. I do not support book banning. The library collection does need to reflect the wants and needs of everyone in the community. And we have professional selectors on staff who very carefully and thoughtfully choose a collection, and we've got a great collection here that is well balanced. And the collection management policy is on the website for anyone to read of how things are selected.
Next question is, if you could change one thing about the St. Charles Library, what would it be? And I'll start with you, Ms. Dower.
Well, since the renovation, everything seems so beautiful, and so I love the natural light in this building. But I do, from an outside perspective, having been a former employee here, I am kind of concerned. There seems to be some kind of disconnect between the staff and the board, and so I'm hoping that there's a little more transparency if that's what's needed, and I just wish that it would be a little more cohesive.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Kaluza?
Having just gone through the renovation, we tried to add everything in that the community asked for. And we are about to start strategic planning to see if there are other things. I really would like the library to reflect the community wants and needs.
All right, and Ms. Lantrum?
I have a two-part answer. The first part, I will support what Bonnie said. I would really love to see this constructive partnership between the brand new union and the brand new director. I would like to see that unfold in a very constructive way. Right now, contract negotiations are still unfolding. It's been over a year. So I would very much like to see that. And then the second part is a little more science fiction. If I could change one thing about the library, it would be, accessibility for all. Some people might not be able to come to the library in person. I'm so grateful for our virtual options. But what else? What else are we missing? What other accommodations can we make? I would love to have a magic wand for accessibility.
All right. The next question. How will you support the library staff in light of the demonstrations that occurred during the COVID lockdown? And kind of as a counterpart to that, and doing a little bit of Monday morning quarterbacking, what would you have done differently and why? And I'll start with you, Ms. Kaluza.
Okay. Definitely, we mishandled it originally. We were not prepared for the demonstration that occurred. We were expecting a demonstration outside the library, not inside the library, and so we weren't prepared. And with hindsight, we have put a lot of policies in place. It's really important to have a safe working environment for the staff. And that was our first priority, and that's the reason the library closed for a few weeks, so that we could get security in. I think we're better prepared now, and hopefully it won't happen again, but it did.
Thank you. Ms. Lantrum?
Sure. Thank you for asking this question as well, and thank you for that thoughtful reflection on the existing board's response. It's hard to imagine what someone would have done in a situation that they were not immediately in. I would like to imagine that I would have provided security the moment the first death threat was received by library staff, and they received many. I'd like to believe that I would have shut the library down when that call came in. Unfortunately, it took several days for that initial closure to happen. Library staff also have access to the EAP, the Employee Assistance Plan. On top of that, I would have made counseling available, trauma counseling available, and I might still have it available because trauma has long-lasting effects. I hope that we don't find ourselves in a situation like that again, but I agree that we all have learned many valuable lessons.
And Ms. Dower?
I felt that the demonstrations were a reaction to policies of the library, which were appropriate at the time. And I think that maybe reviewing some restrictive policies on a more frequent basis might prevent people from feeling the need to demonstrate. And I agree with how it was handled, but I do think that by reviewing restrictive policies that maybe we can avoid future demonstrations.
Thank you. Ms. Latham, the next question is, what can the library board do to help support the educational goals and agenda of District 303 schools?
What can they do to meet the goals? Well, the first thing I would do is just turn that listening up to 11. I want to make sure that we are maximizing our relationships with school leadership at all levels, with the teachers, with the school board, with the administration, with caregivers to students in the district, to homeschooling families. Let's hear about what they need and want, and then look at our tools, look at library resources, and see how we can best respond to those. Really, I believe it comes down to listening and then providing what tools and resources we have.
Thank you. Ms. Dower?
I agree with Ally that listening, having conversations with the district, with the individual schools in the district, needs and wants may change depending on which district, which school is doing what. I believe having resources but honestly, I think that our library is actually doing a pretty good job with its relationship with the district. But again, I'm sure that there's always an opportunity to learn more and to figure out a way for the library to find more resources and more opportunities to be a better partner.
And you, Ms. Kaluza?
We are partnering with DOD 303 in a number of ways. Students run the coffee shop, the Daily Bean, and we also, as I mentioned, now offer library cards to all students in D303. It used to be, the entire school district is not in the library district. There's some overlap but not complete. So we changed that so that if a student is in D303, they can get a library card here. And obviously, as everyone said, continue to look for other opportunities to partner.
Thank you. Wow, that was quick. We have no more questions. So, Ms. Dower, and it just happened this way, you get to give your 1-minute closing statement.
My minute closing, I'll make sure that my microphone works this time. Okay, great. Thank you again to the League for inviting us. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for attending today. These races are very important because they are putting the people on the board will be creating the policies that will govern the library. I have extensive experience working on several different boards. I'm currently a member of the Library Foundation Board. I'm on the Wayne Police Pension Board. I've been a board member of my church for 20 years, so I am very familiar with working with a board, and I know it takes a lot of listening, a lot of collaboration, and I hope that my experience and my dedication to the community will help me gain your vote in April. Thank you.
Ms. Kaluza.
Thank you. I'd also like to, again, thank the League of Women Voters for holding this very important event, and I appreciate the opportunity to come speak. As with any position, there's a learning curve, and there was definitely a learning curve when I joined the board, but I'm already up to speed and continue to work effectively with the board members that are in place. I'm very active on the board. I currently serve as the Vice President and Secretary, and I'm on the Audit, Policy, and Collective Bargaining Committees. So I would appreciate the opportunity to continue the work that I'm already accomplishing. I appreciate your vote. Thank you.
And Ms. Latham.
Thank you again to the League of Women Voters and to the community for coming out. And as you may see when you look around, libraries are for books. and for making things, and for exploring tools and resources. Their community centers, their children's museums, their art galleries. I would like to offer my skills and strengths and experience to support the library, to make sure that it's a safe, welcoming place for everyone moving forward in this new chapter. I would like to challenge everyone to tell at least 5 people about your experiences here today. Early voting starts March 10th and then expands on March 28th. The election is Tuesday, April 4th. I would be grateful for your vote, and again, thank you for coming. If you have any questions, please reach out. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's give a little hand to the presenters.